Hey folks, how you doing? It's Thinking Game Trivia with me, Quizmaster Jack, and we're playing more Buzzword in 2023 with the pop culture and sports. There's going to be 10 questions of pop culture, 10 questions of sports. Each question is going to be a series of clues that go from more obscure to more well known. I'm going to try to buzz in and get the questions right as soon as possible.
A Legend of These People subtitles a Vaughn Monroe song about certain ghosts in the sky. A trope
Ghosts in the
about
sky.
singing examples of these people was popularized by Gene Autry.
Just cowboys? Oop, they'll give me that. Oh, oh, I hope they'll give me that. Big old typo right to start out. Uh, an inauspicious start. I think they'll give me that. The Y and the T are right next to each other. That's clearly a typo.
On the show Supergirl, these objects are equipped with a motion activator that materialized Kara's suit. The words not fair are sobbed by Henry Bemis after these objects break.
Oh, it's her glasses. Yeah, it's the famous Twilight Zone episode where he breaks his glasses and it's like, no, there was time now. There was time to read all the books, but he broke his glasses. I wonder if this whole week will be things that are not capitalized.
A surgeon in this film cannot remember the name of a movie starring Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson. Swimming through underwater coral in this film allows siblings Trent and Maddox to
Oh,
escape.
old. It's just called old, right? I think it's old. Yeah, old. The beach that makes you old. The M Night Shyamalan joint. His latest thing.
In a novel by this man, a pimp named Julian is killed by drug lord Rip Millar. That book, Imperial Bedrooms, is this man's sequel to a 1985 debut about Clay, who returns from college to LA. For 10
Oh,
points, what author of Less Than Zero depicted the serial killer Patrick Bateman in American Psycho?
oh, oh, I should know this. It's like Norris? No, Ellis. Yeah, Brett Easton Ellis. Whew. Took the time on that one, but I got it.
This weapon must be used to dismantle the many-armed boss Kalaktos in the Zelda game Skyward Sword. A sword that can turn
Uh,
into this other kind of weapon is wielded by Ivy in Soul Calibur.
like a whip? Yeah, gotta be a whip. Didn't get tripped up by Nintendo this time. Because I figured with that Zelda clue is either like the hook shot or a boomerang. And the hook shot really isn't a whip. And I don't really remember. Well, I didn't play through Skyward Sword. Yeah, Twilight Princess was the last one I played solidly, and that includes Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which I just couldn't get into. But yeah, Ivy uses that whip sword.
This 2016 song has writing credits for Joe King and Isaac Slade due to its resemblance to the phrase "over my head cable car." This song references a Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson.
Okay. Yep. It's Closer by the Chainsmokers and Halsey. I don't know what that first clue was, but they mentioned lyrics in this one. Stay and play that Blink 182 song that we beat to death in Tucson. Rhyming Tucson and Tucson. Interesting rhyme, but it works.
In a film by this director, Jesus was an alien who warned about a green liquid embodiment of Satan. Another of this director's films ends as Childs and MacReady drink in Antarctica after
Oh, it's John Carpenter, because that last one they were talking about was The Thing. All right, we got three questions left. Yeah, The Thing. And the big question is one of them actually The Thing at the end? But we'll never know, because The Thing sequel was actually a prequel that had Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it.
This name follows Forbidden to title Gerard Alessandrini's long-running parody review. A George M. Cohan song is titled Give My Regards to This Place.
I mean, it's just Broadway, right? Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me in old something square? Tell all the something and something something. All right, I'll admit, I don't know the lyrics to that song. I mean, it's probably from a musical, and I don't even know what musical it's from.
This man wrote about taking a young cancer patient to club a seal in his memoir based on a true story.
A
Because the
seal.
light was on was the punchline to this man's rambling Tonight Show joke about a podiatrist and a moth. For
What?
10 points, what comedian who died in 2021 once hosted SNL's Weekend Update?
Oh, it's the time. Yeah, it must be Norm Macdonald. Okay. Wow. Whole bunch of clues there that I did not know about Norm Macdonald. All right. Yeah, his situation on Weekend Update was weird because the OJ trial was the big thing at the time. So he did a lot of OJ jokes. But then when OJ was found innocent, he got backlash for it and was essentially like kicked off the show, or somebody, one of one of Lauren Michaels' friends, like told him to take uh Norm Macdonald off the show. So he did it because of all the OJ stuff, and then Colin Quinn followed him up, and he knew Colin Quinn knew he was a unpopular choice for the next Weekend Update guy, but he did what he could. I don't think he did not spend long in that role either.
In a TV production logo, this man says the word Fremulon. He
Oh,
voices the
Fremulon.
Alaskan father Beef Tobin on The Great North. In 20
Oh, it's oh no, it's the guy who plays Ron, and I don't know his name. Megan Mullally's husband. Oh no, I buzzed too early. Oh, I'm not gonna pull his name. Oh no, that's the worst. Oh yeah, Nick Offerman. Oh, that's a real shame because I knew who it was, and I didn't have the name. Just didn't have the name. Ugh. And I think they're probably gonna give me Cowboys. So that would have been 10 out of 10. Uh, Man, that's a bummer. That's on me. I should have waited and given myself more time to remember it. Uh, should have just put in Ron Swanson. See, take my chances. Oh well, not a. I think I'm gonna get 9 out of 10 this week, but I still feel bad about it. All right, let's see what they got for us over in sports.
In an NCAA tournament game, this player dismissively waved from the paint while leaving Raven Johnson unguarded. This guard scored 41 points in a game that ended a 42-game win streak for South Carolina. LSU won the 2023 NCAA Women's Tournament despite
Oh,
30 points from, for 10 points, what Iowa guard?
oh yeah, what was her name? Oh, she was in the news. It was like Shiner or something. Caitlin Clark. Wait, Caitlin Clark. Yep. Yeah, somebody who went to Iowa for a year. I probably should have remembered that. But I remember it, Angel Reese, who was the one that kind of had the feud with her in that final game. So I guess that means Angel Reese won because I remembered her name, but not Caitlin's.
Sid Watkins told a man from this country not to race after the crash of fellow countryman Rubens Barrichello. A driver from this country who died
Okay.
at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix was the rival of France's Alain Prost. F1 driver Ayrton Senna was from, for 10
Where's
points,
Senna from?
what country's city of Sao Paulo?
Um, yeah. Okay. Just turned into a geography question that I was still way too hesitant to answer.
In 2020, both this man and a rookie taken with a pick that had been traded for him had over 1,400 receiving yards. In 2022, this man had his third straight 1,200-yard season with Josh.
These are Diggs. Talk about Stephon Diggs and JJ. It's a good trade. Good trade on both sides. One of those trades that everybody got. Everybody got good. We're gonna have to pay Justin Jefferson all the money, just like we didn't want to with Stephon Diggs, but still, it was a good trade. All right, so we had college basketball, racing, and then football. So this is probably a baseball one. I'm gonna say baseball.
In 2022, this team wore a KB patch to honor former base coach Kamara Barty. Christopher Illich owns both Little Caesars and this team.
Yeah, they said Little Caesars. There's a bunch of, because the Red Wings and the Pistons play in Little Caesars Arena, which is right next door to, I think it's still Comerica. Yeah, it's still called Comerica. So Little Caesars is all over that town. So whenever they talk about sports and then say Little Caesars, gonna be Detroit.
Shortly before competing at the Olympics, this gold medalist was kicked off the UTEP team for boycotting a meet against BYU. In 1991, Mike Powell broke this man's world record of 8.90 meters, set in 1968.
Bob Beeman. Yep, that was another thing. I was never gonna. I heard of that because he's the long jump. He had a crazy long jump. I was never gonna remember his name, but I remember the story from John Boyce. Not to always mention secret base in some way. But yeah, he was mistreated because of his race on UTEP, so he left. Ended up setting a crazy world record in long jump. That stood for like 50 years. 50 years, I think it stood. I remember the salient points of the video, but I don't think I was ever going to remember his name.
Legend holds that this sport was adopted by Jem Mace after his violin was destroyed. In the late 1800s, the National Police Gazette named champions in this sport, including John L. Sullivan and Gentleman Jim Corbett.
Boxing? Yeah, Gentleman Jim Corbett. That's a British boxer. So just early mythology of boxing, I guess, was that whole question. Talk about the Marquis of Queensberry, the rule set. All right, I'm gonna guess NBA on this one.
Before a playoff run, this team recorded the song Bust a Bucket. Michael Jordan's record 35 first-half points in an NBA Finals during the Shrug game came against this team in 1992.
What was the Shrug game?
For 10 points, what team lost 2 finals in the early 1990s with coach Rick Adelman and star guard Clyde Drexler?
The Drexler was on the Trailblazers, I think. Yep. All right, I think back to football.
During a title season, this team did not score a touchdown in 5 straight games, leading to Tony Banks' benching. In a Super Bowl, this team forced a pick six thrown by Kerry Collins and routed the Giants.
It's the Ravens. That Giants team routed the Vikings in the NFC Championship game and then got busted up something good. Well, it makes sense that they would never have scored. They didn't score a touchdown in 5 games because there was a team that was all defense, which wins championships.
Among pitchers with 1,000+ innings, this man's ERA plus is 41 points better than second best. In the late 1990s, Mike Stanton and Jeff Nelson set up for this man, who taught Roy Halladay his cutter. The last MLB player to wear number 42 was...
It's Mariano Rivera. Because he was one of those folks that got grandfathered in because they didn't make people who were wearing 42 at the time change their numbers when they retired Jackie Robinson's league wide. So he was able to keep it for a while. And he was a pitcher, so he just kept pitching, and he was the last 42 standing.
In January 2023, this club tied Sheffield in a fourth-round match of the FA Cup. In 2023, this club had 111 points, and Paul Mullen scored 2 goals as it beat
Yeah, this was actually a TV question, because they were talking about Wrexham, which is the team that got bought by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McInnery. And they had that whole Hulu series about them trying to get him back to Triumph. And it's weird because it's essentially a sports documentary. So if you want to know what happens, you can figure out what happened. And there's spoilers out there for the next season. We have Paul Mullins. That was their big sign that they could get for that season. That's it for this week. Honestly felt a little bit off my game, but I have a new rig. I got some new computer hardware, so I'm figuring some stuff out. I got a light. I had some Bluetooth headphones, but there's a lag on there, so not what you want for buzzing in with speed. So I'm gonna have to figure out my audio situation. Ooh, technical talk here at the end. But thanks for watching. Thanks for getting through with me. I'll keep recording these no matter what happens. So you keep watching them. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, put some comments if you feel the need. Do all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching. We will see you later.